Outlaws. So we got one for y'all. Customer came in. He has this beautiful 0713 body style truck. It is a '07 and a half, obviously it's in a cab. It is a stock bottom end 4.8 liter. Got cam, head studs, has a good on3 turbo kit on it. I believe it's a 7675. It is on a Holly, but it has come here with some issues that we are going to resolve for this customer. Another shop built it. Customer spent about 15 grand and didn't really come out with a good end of the deal. So we're gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and show y'all kind of what we're talking about and where it's at and what our plans are for the future. Okay, so one of the things is for some reason another shop deleted the coolant reservoir. Not really sure. We're gonna get our buddy to fab us up a nice little reservoir. Other shop also did this nice cap job. Appreciate you for that, bud. That looks great. This truck is on a Holly as well, as I said, but you can't mount Hollies in the engine bay, and if you do, you know, mount them, bro. When deleting the factory harness, maybe do a better job than just leaving all the customer shit like that and returning it to them. When doing a fuel system setup, I would assume that your one-to-one regulator for your boost should be something nicer than this, and your regulator probably shouldn't be tie strapped like that. So we're gonna fix all that. We're gonna mount him a nice little regulator bracket right there, the way he can actually see it. We run all this shit. Everything that you see that's vacuum line is all gonna get converted to push connect and poly. What else? And we're gonna take all of these eBay spark plug wires off. We're gonna put some nice spark plug wires. We're gonna pull the fuse box up like you're supposed to and de-pin all of these so none of that's showing. Hide all these wires. We're gonna put about a 1.5 to 2 inch nice rubber grommet in the wall. Take all the Holly stuff, put it inside underneath the dash, make it all super clean. We're gonna clean up all these wiring, all the tie straps. We're gonna put all these little connectors and heat shrink, make them look real good. This one right here, guys, is also your main power for your Holly. Not too great of a connection there, so that's not a plus. But hopefully, you know, we take about a week's time, get this girl all up and right. Maybe a little longer, we'll see. But we're gonna critique a bunch of stuff. We're also gonna fix the trans cooler. Delete the old lines that the shop literally just left hanging in there, custom. And also we're gonna try to fix that. We're gonna do all AN lines and take off the high performance worm gear clamps right there that old boy put. And it's a 4L80 and it's, oh, watch out, it's a 4L80 and it's running 190 degrees cruising, not in the boost, not in the power. If y'all know 80s, that's pretty hot for an 80. My 80 in my shop truck runs like 145 with me beating the ever-living shit out of it. So that's obviously not right. We may even delete that cooler and put a true cool on it with all AN lines and do it the right way. So, but yeah, truck's breaking up, won't even get in the boost. Makes it look like tries to make 1 pound in the boost, and it breaks up, misfires so bad. So we're gonna do plugs, we're gonna do wires. Good thing it didn't get in the boost though. I pulled the tune up on the Holly, and this is a stock bottom end 4.8. Not a lot of fuel pump, not a lot of injector, which we'll get to in a minute. To keep these happy, depending on how much boost you want to run, maybe 12 pounds of boost, 10-12 pounds of boost, I would say on pump gas, to keep it safe, I would probably run no more than maybe 10 degrees of timing. You know, some people say less, some people say more. Timing kills stock bottom ends. I'd rather run low timing and higher boost. This old girl had 22 degrees of timing in boost. It was going to blow the fuck up the second it got in the boost. So it might have made one very fast little pull and then done, holding the piston rod out the block. So we fixed the tune up. Also, this customer paid for a fuel system and 1000cc injectors. I pulled a Holly file and it has 600cc injectors in the tune. So I just pulled an injector and sure enough, customer paid for 1000s, got 600s. So add it to the list, guys. But yeah, so just wanted to give you all a little update on some stuff we're working on. We're also starting on our turbo LS Jeep project. Be about a 700 wheel horsepower Jeep. We're doing Holly and everything on that too, so waiting on that to come in, and we're doing a full built fuel system on that. Customer's gonna get what he pays for though. So yeah, just wanted to give you an update on some stuff we're working on. We're gonna go ahead and start moving all this stuff, and y'all stay tuned. Okay, so now that we have our dash apart, know where we're gonna run our harness. Went ahead and pulled the old harness out of here. We're gonna fix all that stuff in a second. But we got all our harness, got as much slack as we can. Moved it, snaked it all out of here. We're gonna keep it as close up as we can. And this is where we're going to pop our 2-inch grommet to better run all of our wires. So while we're waiting on the grommet to come in, because all that stuff's in shipping right now, we're gonna go ahead and work on the trans cooler. So I don't like to run these trans coolers simply because of the fact that it's a tube design. Some people may have good luck with them. I've never had good luck with them. The only thing we like to run is the True Cool 40Ks. So we're gonna go ahead and take all this off, remove all that, give it back to the customer. We're gonna redo it with all AN line, 6 AN line. We're gonna mount the True Cool behind the intercooler up here and kind of snake the wire, the hoses through this. When they're all clean, they'll come down, they'll run in the same location as the factory, but it'll all be 6 AN line. We got the ICT billet adapters for the trans and for the True Cool. So that's pretty much what we're gonna work on next. That should be in today. So next clip you see is where we'll be taking this down. True Cool will be up, and let's see what we can do. All right, guys, old transmission cooler and fan are out. Our True Cool is actually gonna go back here, but as you can see, we're kind of, I don't know if y'all can see that, we're kind of limited on room because of this bar. So what we do, we unbolt the bar, we mount our True Cool back there to kind of see where it's gonna fit best with the tabs on the True Cool, and then we go ahead and cut this bar to where it's even on top of the True Cool, and we mount the True Cool with some nuts and bolts through that. That way you open up this whole area. This is probably about 2.5, 3 inches, which is plenty for the True Cool. That'll be mounted back there all clean. And also, we're probably gonna do something better than these custom self-tapping screws to hold up this intercooler. But we're gonna do that here in a second. All right, guys, so we are working on moving our Holley harness, as you've seen on the inside, where we're gonna run everything. So now we have a 3-inch rubber grommet. You can kind of see it behind the insulation. All of the Holley is running through. We're gonna go ahead and push everything through, get everything clean. We have to reroute all these. That's one of the main powers to the Holley. We're gonna try to throw that in this loom here. This is your starter wire. Also gonna try to loom that up, make that look a little better. But upon moving all the Holley wires, it was like, well, we're in here, we might as well check all the grounds, because this truck did come in with a very bad misfire breaking up issue under acceleration. Well, I don't know if y'all know, but this guy needs to be connected to a cylinder head. There's no bolts on the back of the cylinder head to hold this guy in, and this is a coil harness. You don't have ground to this, these coils aren't gonna work. They're gonna act all stupid. This side's on, this side is not. And we have a loose body to engine ground. Doubt y'all gonna be able to see in there. This guy is super loose. So we're gonna tighten him up. I'm gonna put this guy, I got a bolt at the shop. We're gonna get this guy mounted here. And then our fuel pump wire is ran down like this. We're gonna run this inside the cab and pop a little grommet through the floor and run that clean. That way it's not like this and have a chance on burning on the headers. But this also runs straight to the fuel pump. We don't do that. I don't like to pour that much amperage through the Holley. I run this to a relay, a trigger on the relay. So we're gonna get 3 relay kits, 1 for the fuel pump, 2 for the electric fans, and we're gonna rewire all this stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and mount all that, or we're gonna go ahead and loom all that stuff, get everything, all the grounds hooked up like they're supposed to be hooked up, cut all these butt connectors off, redo them with some good connectors and heat shrink. That way they look a little better than this, and we'll keep y'all updated. All right, guys, so we have our coil harness ground connected now. We have our fuel regulator mounted now on the firewall. The firewall actually sits at an angle, so we went ahead and bent just the top part of the bracket. That way the fuel rail regulator actually sits straight. We pulled this fuel pressure sensor wire back in the Holley, retaped it up, that way that sits clean. Ran this line to the factory connect. We're gonna see once we put the intake on, we may have to shorten this one up, maybe an inch or so. Kind of see where the fuel rail sits. Should sit pretty good though. Still need to mount our ground. We have our relays mounted for our fan and fuel pump. We went ahead and took the customer's relay for his underglow lights, mounted there. We got our Motion Raceworks block mounted now for our vacuum and boost distribution. We went ahead and tucked that old red wire that was back there. Went ahead, you can kind of see it right there. It runs up. We jumped it in this loom. These are now the Holley positive and grounds. All heat shrink, all in easy loom, super clean. Went ahead and threw heat shrink and some good connectors on the customer's relay as well. And also, so the spark plug wire situation, they had the on 3 spark plug wire kit. I don't personally think it's a great kit. Wires are touching everywhere. They don't really fit too great. So what we did was, the customer had a Summit Racing kit. So we went ahead and custom made all these spark plug wires. That way they are, I'm gonna try to zoom up on y'all. They're away from the headers, not touching the header anywhere. There you go. And we made custom, oh, that's me. Made custom lengths on both sides. So they're all super smooth. So went ahead and made custom wires for both sides using the customer's Summit kit. And on the inside, made some progress on there as well. We're waiting on our red and white striped wire to come in for our Holley trigger wire. We went ahead and extended all of the wires on the Holley. The grounds, the brake switch, white and red is trigger. This is solid 12 volt constant. And pretty much all this shit's getting deleted, so don't worry about that. But all this stuff is going to get ran back through the firewall in loom. And we now have all of our Holley, everything rerouted to the top glove box. So here in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and throw all the dash back together and mount our Terminator X. That way it looks good, it's out of the way, and all we have to do is run our wires through the firewall. And then we can start having some fun, wiring everything up, finishing the relays. At that point, once we finish that, we'll throw the intake back on, and then we can get to tuning this old girl, which is my favorite part. So stay tuned for a couple more clips. We also actually changed the transmission cooler. So a couple clips ago, we had this transmission cooler, which I mean, they work okay. I'm not gonna say it's a bad cooler. I don't personally like them because it's a tube cooler, so it takes long enough for the fluid to actually get through the cooler, and it doesn't really cool that great. So we got the True Cool 40K. We did ICT billet adapters for the True Cool in the for the True Cool and the trans, and we custom built all -6 AN lines and mounted it on the old A-frame bracket. So we just kind of cut it, paint it up, smoothen the edges, put some nice nuts and bolts, and you see the -6 lines run down into there, and they go underneath the truck into the trans. You can kind of probably see them, yeah, down there. So with us for a couple more clips, and we'll get this old girl wrapped up. We now have our Holley tucked in the glove box, actually all wired up behind this. So now we have glove box mounted, bottom glove box is mounted, bottom piece, AC's back on, AC covers back on, and you can see the Holley harness. No, we did not cut this shit like this. It was previously cut, but that is your Holley harness going back there. The entire harness is tucked. So now we just have to pass our wires through the firewall, run our triggers, run our positives, run our negatives, our brake switches, all that good stuff. So then we can put our bottom piece on, put all our shrouds back, and we're waiting on a 3D printed piece to get made for the 7-inch Holley dash. We can tuck all that, hide all that nicely. We'll put the radio back in now. I just left it out, that way I could show y'all what it looked like, where the Holley harness was. And then we're gonna go ahead and wire up all our relays under the hood next. Alright guys, so we have done a lot of work to this girl since the last clip. It's actually ready for the customer to come pick it up. We just washed it, armored all the tires for him, that way you can pick it up, come check it out, and, you know, enjoy it at his house without having to worry about cleaning it. So let's give y'all a little run through of where we at. All our dash pieces are back in. Everything's super clean. Would not tell this is a Holley truck, obviously. So you pop the glove box, boom, Holley's in there. And then got the Holley dash. Kind of hard to see, but right here, customer is getting his 3D printed thing in the mail, waiting on that. No wire showing nowhere. Go ahead and pop the hood. We got a lot done under the hood. All right, so we got our relays for our fan and our fuel pump right there. Got all our wires gone from all the craziness that was going on right here. We had that purple starter wire that was going, loomed him up, tucked him underneath the fuse box, ran him back. Our regulators mounted and done. We have our Holly harness going inside. We have everything got converted to poly with quick connects. We have our true focus fab tank mounted. Everything's plumbed up. We have our dash 10 lines for our catch can going back to our billet all caps. We have one on the other side as well. Redid the cooling system to be able to take the true focus fab tank. Now we have an expansion tank, before it did not. We have, kind of hard to see, but we have our distribution blocks for our power. So instead of having, you know, 15 things on the positive, 15 things on the negative, we have one negative, one positive distribution block for everything. So we have a Motion Race Works distribution block there, and everything is good to go, guys. It's ready. It's on a super safe tune-up. It's on 10 pounds of boost on 93. It's right about out of fuel pump right there, so customers should be plenty happy with it. And yeah, we had a great time on this, and it was very fun. So appreciate y'all watching. If y'all have a turbo Holly nightmare, you know who to bring it to. Thank y'all for watching.